One of the most talked about movies right now is not in theaters, it is on Netflix, and it could be their best movie of the year. Let's talk about Leave the World Behind. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new film Leave the World Behind. This is on Netflix right now and boasts a pretty big cast, some Oscar winners, and an interesting premise. So we're going to talk about all of this here in just a second. But first, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do movie and TV reviews here on the channel, and just about every day something new goes up. So always a lot to check out. Handy playlists on the homepage to check out as well if you're just looking for TV stuff, if you're just looking for movie stuff, you can check those out individually. But please consider subscribing, like this video, share it on your socials, comment below. Of course, all of that stuff does help the channel out. All right, Leave the World Behind. This is a real big title on Netflix right now, #1 currently, and it features Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, Ethan Hawke, and Kevin Bacon. And also a sort of newcomer, Mahaila, is in this as well. I know her from an HBO series called Industry, which was pretty good, but she's done a couple of things. But obviously, these other names you're going to know. And this was directed by and screenplayed by Sam Esmail, who you may know from Mr. Robot. He, I think, created that show, but in any event, he worked on it extensively and directed a bunch of it and wrote some of it. So this guy knows sort of his, I don't know, technology-based drama thriller kind of stuff, and that's sort of what this is. This is what is called a apocalyptic psychological thriller, according to Wikipedia. But this basically features Julie Roberts and Ethan Hawke's characters taking their kids on a trip to kind of get away from the hustle and bustle. They, don't spend enough time together. Julie Roberts kind of hates people. And so they decide to go where, technology is a little bit more sparse. Let's just kind of get away. However, slowly, things start happening that are amiss, clearly. And the first thing is they're on a beach and a boat literally just comes up on the shore. And moving forward, I mean, we're not going to really do spoilers here, but moving forward, other things start to happen. Phones start to break down. The emergency broadcast system starts, going crazy. But through all this, at nightfall, Mahershala Ali and Mahaila, who play father and daughter, and claim that this Airbnb that the other folks are staying in is theirs. And we need to stay here. We have no place to go, etc. So that's how they kind of all join together. And it goes from there. That's all we're going to say, plot-wise. But, boy, this is a really interesting movie. I mean, there's a lot going on here, a lot to sort of pay attention to. I don't really think I need to say that the acting is great. Ethan Hawke has been on a career high the last few years. Mahershala Ali, is always great. Julia Roberts, what is there to say about her? And Kevin Bacon, I won't even say who he plays. I mentioned his name as being in it, but I think it'll be more interesting to kind of see him in the movie. But yeah, everybody does a great job here. There's no issue with that. But no, this is a classic sort of apocalyptic scenario. We've seen, some of this stuff, I guess, before in different ways, not quite laid out like this. But I think the script here is great. Esmail did a great job of really identifying all of these characters without making them completely stock. We sort of get the gist of the Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke characters pretty early on, really before they even leave for the trip. We sort of get the dichotomy there. But having the other characters be so mysterious, is this actually their house that they're Airbnb-ing? They have no ID on them, for example. So how do we know what's really going on with them? And we slowly kind of learn as we go along what the story is with everybody and with kind of what's going on a little bit. But there's some great conversations here. People start to kind of break off into different groups, and the kids as well, play a big factor in this. Roberts and Hawke's two kids I keep saying their real names, but you know the characters. Their kids are like teenagers, I would say both of them. Like in the later years, I would guess maybe, I don't know, 13 or 14 and 17, let's say. The youngest, the girl, is kind of obsessed with the TV show Friends, which is hilarious because Julia Roberts was on that. There's been a couple of memes going around about that with this movie. But no, this is so interesting because you don't know really what's going on, and I'm not positive that we ever get an absolute okay. This is what's happening because there's some theories from various characters, but do we ever quite learn exactly what's happening? Not really. It's up to the viewer to kind of believe okay, what theory do I sort of align with here? But with that, the biggest I would say controversy with the film is the ending, which I'm not even going to go there with the ending, but I can see how it's a bit divisive. Personally, it worked for me. Now, this is based on a book, and from what I read after I watched the movie, I kind of read a couple articles about okay, what are the differences here? The book is a little bit more resolute in its ending, and this is a little bit more ambiguous. And sometimes people do not like that. They like their hand to be held throughout. I personally like an ambiguous ending sometimes if it fits kind of the tone of the movie. I think Prisoners is a really great example of that. Check that movie out from a few years ago. But in any event, the ending worked for me, as did most things about this movie. This is a real interesting one. Now, I mentioned at the top, it might be Netflix's best of the year. Personally, for me, I think it would be number 2 on the list. I think The Killer is still better, the Michael Fassbender movie from a few weeks ago, or a little longer maybe now. But this is right up there in that category, and I'm leaving it with the same grade. I give Leave the World Behind an A minus. Check this out now on Netflix. It is streaming for your viewing pleasure. All right, thank you so much for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.